Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another episode of Shakana Toy Reviews. Two idiots, one camera, and a review. I'm Wilson.
I'm Berg.
And what do we have today?
Today we have the Legacy Collection Daedric Warrior.
Fantastic.
From Funko. This was the box.
We don't collect boxes.
We collect toys.
We play with toys.
We play with toys.
Awesome. So this is the Daedric Warrior.
This is the Daedric Warrior. Basically, in the Skyrim game, you can build Daedric armor. It's the armor of the Daedra, I believe. And I believe you take ebony ingots, and you can assemble it anywhere. It's a Daedric axe. They're just basically, as far as I can tell, they're just basically warrior guys.
They look pretty badass, though.
So
you couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah.
So,
here he is.
Yeah, he looks really, really good. He looks like visually badass.
He is visually badass.
He's got some issues, but we can go over those later once you do your thing.
Yep. Words are hard today.
They are. You know. Speaking is difficult.
I like Skyrim. Thank you. So, he has got some fantastic sculpting elements. All over. He's got like all these little sharp points that are actually, some of them are actually pretty sharp, even though they're just rubber, but they're very, very nicely done. He's got these little buckles on the front. Super, super cool. I mean, they're actually like, you can see through them. And, you know, it looks pretty much straight out of the game, except not on my giant TV. Got some cool spikes down his back. Very neat. I think the sculpt is amazing on this guy.
Yeah.
I think the sculpt is way better on this guy than on Dovahkiin.
Yeah.
The main character.
I agree. The sculpt is strong. The paint is... How would you feel about the paint? Because I think the paint is definitely weaker.
The paint is weaker. There is less of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Where it is applied, it's just like, oh, he needs some red here. And
yeah, exactly. It's not even like here it looks, it's just kind of messy. Here it's that's totally bright there.
And
it's not even you know, consistent throughout. It's just kind of half-assed, really.
Although he does have some nice paint details on his axe, which are very, very nice. But and again, there's no paint separation on his back, just like Dovahkiin.
Yeah.
Like they just throw in some highlights or something.
Yeah, like even in here on the little.
Yeah.
They could have done something.
And like Chris was saying, this paint is just like, oh, that's like a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So that's kind of disappointing, especially when compared to all the other figures that Funko has released in the Legacy line. As far as articulation goes, he's also not as good. Excuse me. His head may be a ball joint, but you can barely get any movement on him just because of the sculpt mainly. And his shoulders have these gigantic, awesome looking plates, but they don't move, they're not articulated at all.
Yeah.
So his ball jointed shoulder is pretty much reduced to a cut shoulder. Yeah. He does have ball jointed elbows. He's got ball jointed wrists on both hands. He's got a ball jointed waist that is really, really tight and doesn't have much forward and backward movement as I would like.
Well, I think the waist is awesome though, in terms of at least side to side. I was looking at the waist. I don't know. For some reason, I really dug the way the waist moved. At least side to side.
Side to side, it totally works.
Yeah, it works really well for this guy.
And he has ball jointed hips that go forward and back, has double jointed knees, and has ball jointed ankles. So he does not have swivel thighs.
Oh no!
Oh no! So
oh, uh-oh.
He can hold his axe only in the one hand. It's much harder to get in. Mainly, his hand just seems like a harder plastic.
Such a pain. That really bothers me.
So you can get him into some cool poses, but overall he feels much more like an old school McFarlane figure where he looks great, but doesn't
do much. Part of the problem is his armor.
Yeah, the sculpt presents itself.
It looks so cool, but it just gets in the way of having him move.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's a problem.
And the efforts they put in the paint, and it could just be the one I got. Maybe this isn't super high red on the side. I don't know. I only got one. I was gonna get an army of them, but he is not as cool as I wanted him to be. So for $20, it's kind of not gonna army build him.
Yeah. Plus, he doesn't have the thigh articulation. He's just going in the trash after this review, isn't he? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. A piece of junk.
Right next to all your crappy Transformers.
And the DC icons that you just hate so much.
Hey, speaking of DC icons, let's see how he scales with Mr. Miracle.
Size comparison.
So he's a little bit shorter.
A little bit shorter. Who, Mr. Miracle?
Well, he's taller because he's got these, but they're about the same size, maybe.
They're roughly the same size.
So they look pretty good with each other. Not that I'd ever display them together. But, and then if we bring in Greg Capullo's Designer Series Batman, he towers over them. Obviously, this is a 6-inch scale figure, and this is a 7-inch scale figure. So really short. Wouldn't put them together anyway. But
you said he was 6 inches too.
No.
No.
This guy's exactly 6 inches tall. He's an inch taller.
And what was your complaint about the other 6? Whatever. There's Dovahkiin.
There's Dovahkiin. They look pretty good together. They look really good together. If you're familiar at all with the game, pretty much the same height. Look really, really cool.
This guy doesn't have the loose joint problem either.
No, his joints, what joints he does have, are much, much tighter than him. So I think it's just your mileage may vary on that. And for anyone who really cares, he looks pretty good next to Jon Snow, Game of Thrones. So if you want to throw a couple of these guys in your back of your Game of Thrones display, John doesn't want to stand today. There we go. But yeah, they look really good together. Same body size. Look very, very cool. And just for shits and giggles, here's the Hound, who rightfully so towers over everyone because he's super crazy badass. And even more fun.
We're just gonna go nuts.
Oh, we're just going for nuts, man. This is I believe Ethan Emery, Ethan Chandler.
I don't know, man. I don't watch that show.
From Penny Dreadful, as played by Josh Hartnett.
Not Ethan Hunt.
Not Ethan Hunt. He's a little bit taller, and I believe he's from Biff Bang Pow Toys, so not the same company, but again, pretty comparable size. And one last figure.
Marvel Legends.
Marvel Legends.
Come on! I was hoping we could make it through a Skyrim review without knocking it over.
There he is next to the new Marvel Legends, Kraven the Hunter. Another awesome figure. Looks way too big, pretty much. But close enough.
All right, man. So bottom line, what's your bottom line on this guy?
Bottom line,
Is it worth it?
I'm gonna give him 2.5 hammers, cause as poor quality as Dovahkiin is, he at least can move and is slightly more fun to play with. This guy is basically gonna end up being a statue in your display, and the paint apps are really disappointing. It literally looks like they just put some red wash here and there. And even if that's how it is in the game, you could literally, a little more effort, make it so much better. It looks pretty much straight out of the game. And the fact that, his articulation in most spots is useless. And I get it's because of the sculpt. 2.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2 hammers out of 5. Pretty much the same complaints as you, just that I think they bother me more, just because if I'm going to be spending $20 on a, toy like this, I want it to do more than just stand on my shelf.
Stand poorly.
Yeah, stand poorly on my shelf. I want it to look better, paint-wise. It's disappointing. I mean, as awesome as it looks, just like sculpt-wise, and that initial reaction of seeing them in the box and then getting them out is awesome. Like he looks awesome, but then you get him in hand and it's just kind of a letdown. It's unfortunate, especially compared to the other dude. Like you said, he's. It seems like they put a lot more effort into that guy, and this guy's kind of like an afterthought. Like, we need somebody to go with him.
Yeah, good guy and a bad guy.
Yeah, so that's kind of a bummer. But if you're into the Skyrim guys, then I guess he's worth picking up. Just I guess to have a buddy stand next to or play
and
with.
He will fit in your other displays of that type of figure. So
sure, yeah, absolutely.
Just not that fun to play with.
No, unfortunately, but. So that was it for this one. What's he? Daedric Warrior?
Daedric Warrior, Skyrim Legacy Collection.
From Funko?
Funko.
Alright, so that'll be it for this episode of Shock and Awe Toy Reviews. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at Scabs.
And you can follow me at Raggy Foe Smasher. It should be right around here.
Yeah. And also, feel free to visit MajorSpoilers.com for more reviews.
Major spoilers!
Podcasts. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, they do an awesome podcast called Critical Hits. Really suggest listening to it. So there'll be a link down in the show notes. Until then, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.